Okay, so first we are starting off with addition. And the problem is -2 plus 4i plus 5 minus 4i. So first you want to add the common terms, which is -2 and 5, and that equals 3. And then you would do 4i minus 4i, and that is 0. So that means that your answer is just 3. Now here is another problem for addition. This problem is 3 minus 2i plus 5 plus 7i. So first again, you would add the common terms, which are 3 and 5, and that equals 8. And then you would do -2i plus 7i, which is positive 5i. So your answer is 8 plus 5i. On to subtraction, and it is almost the same thing. And this problem is going to be -5 plus 3i minus 6 minus i. And first again, you're going to do the common terms. In this case, that is -5 and 6. And then you would get -11. And then you would do common terms for the i's. So it would be positive 3i and -i. Now you have to remember that the minus and the negative I would make it into a positive, so you would be doing 3i plus I, which would give you 4i, and the answer is -11 plus 4i. And now on to another subtraction problem. This problem is 2 minus 3i minus 3 plus 2i. So first you want to do the like term, so 2 and 3, so 2 minus 3 is -1, and then you want to do -3i minus 2i, and that would be -5i. So your answer is -1 minus 5i. Now on to multiplication. This problem consists of 2 plus 3i times 4 minus I. Now first you want to do FOIL, which is 2 times 4, which is 8, and then you want to do 2 times -i, which is -2i, then 3i times 4, which is 12i, and then 3i times -i, which is -3i squared. And next, what you are going to do is combine like terms. So then there's 8 plus 10i, and then -3 to the I squared is actually -3 times -i, so that would be 8 plus 10i plus 3, and then 8 plus 3 is 11, and so your answer will be 11 plus 10i. On to the next multiplication problem. It is 5 plus 4i times 8 minus 8i. Now first you want to do FOIL. So you're going to do 5 times 8, which is 40. Then 5 times -8i is -40i. Then 4i times 8 is 32i. And then 4i times -8i is -32i squared. Now to write it out, it's going to be 40 minus 40i plus 32i, and then you want to remember the I squared is always -1, so it would end up being -32 times -1. So to add like terms, it's going to be 40 minus 8i plus 32, and 40 plus 32 is 72. So the answer is 72 minus 8i. On to probably the hardest thing of complex numbers, division. So today we're going to be doing 3 plus 4i divided by 2 minus i. So first you want to do the conjugate. So the conjugate is 2 plus i. So you are going to do 3 plus 4i times 2 plus I, and then 2 minus I times 2 plus I. So for the numerator, you want to do FOIL. So 3 plus 4i times 2i, and you'll do the FOIL after that. And for the denominator, you will not be doing FOIL. You would actually just be multiplying. So you're just going to multiply 2 times 2, which is 4, and negative I plus I, which is negative I squared. So to do the FOIL, 3 times 2 is 6, and then 3 times I is 3i. 4i times 2 is 8i, and 4i times I is 4i squared. So before we put down the denominator, what we are going to do is add the common terms. So of course it's going to be 6 plus 11i minus 4, because the I squared is negative 1, so 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. So now for the denominator. So 4 minus I squared is actually going to be plus 1, because negative 1 times negative 1 equals positive 1. So now to do all the common terms added together, it's going to be 2 plus 11i over 5. And now you want to separate them. So it's going to be 2 over 5 plus 11 over 5i. And that is your answer. On to the next division problem. We are going to be doing negative 1 over negative 4 minus 10i. So what you want to do is multiply by the conjugate. The conjugate in this case will be negative 4 plus 10i, and that is your numerator and denominator. So you're going to do the FOIL, which you don't really need to do. You're just multiplying negative 1 times negative 4, which is 4, and negative 1 times 10i, which is negative 10i. And remember, for the denominator in this case, you do not do FOIL. You just multiply by what it is. So if it's a real number or imaginary. So negative 4 times negative 4 is 16. Negative 10i times 10i is negative 100i squared. So since I do not have room, I'm going to write down below where the arrow is going to end up being. And now we're going to write I squared into its number. So to write it all out, it's going to be 4 minus 10i over 16 minus 100 times negative 1. So now to write it out, it'll be 4 minus 10i over 16 plus 100. And now to add 4 minus 10i again over 116. Now I'm going to separate it, so it'll be 4 over 116 minus 10 over 116i, but you always want to reduce. So in this case, it'll be 1 over 29 minus 5 over 58i. So the 1 over 29 minus 5 over 58i is your answer.